Now that Mr. Trump is back going to the White House, New York AG, Attorney General, she is uttering complete ignorance about Donald Trump and the new administration already. Listen, what she just said, man.
Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we would be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights. So here we are. We've studied their platforms.
What platform?
We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns.
We've
created contingency plans.
Oh, what kind of?
So no
Don't get scared now. Just resign. Walk away. If you leave now, you walk away and no shame. Come on in. What's up, Jim? My nine. What's up, man? Come on in. Push that like button. Show me some love. I don't know about the rest of them, but I'm chilling this morning.
We will continue to stand tall in the face of injustice.
No, you ain't.
Revenge.
Oh.
Or retribution.
Oh, y'all coming for revenge?
We will continue to protect and our most vulnerable and marginalized amongst us. Because it is my sworn duty and responsibility to lead that fight. Working with the governor of this great state, Kathy Hochul. This is not the time to be fearful, New York, but faithful and steadfast.
The only one sound fearful is you.
Attorney General, along with my entire team,
the only one sound fearful is you.
And we are prepared.
You the only one sound fearful. That is ignorant.
To fight back. Thank you.
Pure ignorant.
All right, so that's Attorney General Letitia James from the state of New York, and there's the Governor Kathy Hochul, who spoke just a little while ago, saying that they are prepared for a Trump presidency. Let's bring in our Fox News legal editor, Carrie Bond. I'm still.
Did y'all catch that? This lady just got on National Broad TV and lied about Trump for no reason. Listen.
We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns.
What's fact patterns and possibilities? How did you identify?
Other Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we would be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights.
What rights?
So here we are.
You ain't got no rights.
We've studied their platforms.
What? No. We studied y'all platform. Y'all tried to destroy him. Now look how stupid you're looking. Look how stupid they looking right now. They looking really stupid. You know why? Because this is the same lady that was finna. You know what? If Donald Trump didn't win on November the 5th, don't you know he would have went to prison on November the 7th? He had to go be sentenced. So now that he's president, you can't sentence a sitting president when he ain't sitting yet, but he's an elected president. Now that's why they probably trying to hold back the votes. I think that's what they doing. They trying to hold back giving him the full election. Watch, they try to say, no, he's a convicted felon. We found a loophole in the law that said he can't run for president. Watch, they gonna try to take it from him. Man, all hell gonna break loose. Watch what I tell y'all. That's what the Democrats are trying. They looking for a loophole in the law. That's what they doing. They looking for a loophole in the law to take Donald Trump. Don't give Donald Trump the presidency. That's what they doing. What y'all think? Y'all think they trying to take a? What y'all think they trying to do? Look at this. I want you to listen real carefully. Listen. I want y'all to listen real carefully because the Democrats is really they quiet. Kamala ain't even conceded yet.
We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns.
What kind of possibilities and fact patterns? They already making up shit. Boy, this Democrat.
Other Democratic AGs across this country to make sure that we.
Democratic AGs, general attorneys. So now they scared. Don't worry about it. Y'all ain't gonna be there because he gonna appoint some new general attorney. What y'all think? Oh, I'm eating on some steak fries. Uh-huh. It's early in the morning, and I decided to get me some steak fries. Mm-hmm. These things right here good. Oh, I need some more salt. Ain't no salt on these damn things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they ain't put the 2 packs of salt in there. What kind of damn place is that? Man, they put 2 packs of salt and 2 goddamn. I said, bitch, give me some goddamn salt and ketchup. She gave me 2 packs of salt and 2 packs of ketchup. Oh, stingy ass goddamn restaurant. I'm not the only one. Man, look, I got my own damn salt and ketchup. I got better salt. I got healthier salt. I got molten sea salt. That molten sea salt right here. This right here, this white lady been walking through the hood for years. She ain't never got kidnapped. For real. My grandma used to buy that white lady. Since I'm blessed a little bit better than the rest. I got me some Lowry seasoning salt on pop on these things too. Ooh, make them things really jump. Lowry's? You ain't got no Lowry's. You don't even know what that is. How y'all doing this morning? Push that like button. Show me some love. Mm-hmm. Y'all ain't pushing that like button. I don't like y'all either. You know what I found out? These damn Democrats is losing their mind. What's up, bro? Top of the AM. Good morning. All the way from London, UK. What's up, JJ? Dino. Why they keep talking about their rights? They ain't got none no more.
We'll be ready to respond to any attempt to roll back our rights.
Roll back y'all rights. Rights to what? As an attorney general, you supposed to be focusing on crime and law, right? You need to be worrying about the charges that's going to be coming towards you. Yeah.
So here we are.
For the crimes that you committed
We've
against him.
studied their platforms.
No.
We've identified certain possibilities, fact patterns. We've created contingency plans. So no matter what the next administration throws at us...
What? They ain't gonna throw nothing. They ain't studying y'all.
We're ready to respond to their attacks.
Do y'all think Donald Trump's studying them?
We're ready to respond to any attempts to cut or eliminate any funding to the great state of New York as the governor.
Oh, y'all gonna get that.
So despite what has happened on the national stage,
y'all gonna get that.
We will continue to stand
y'all a sanctuary city.
In the face of injustice,
and if y'all in sanctuary and immigrants,
revenge,
get what? No, you getting your money, Doc.
We will continue to protect and our most vulnerable and marginalized amongst us. Because it is my sworn duty and responsibility.
New York City got a lot of money. They got their own money. They don't need to.
With the governor of this great state, Kathy Hochul. This is not the time to be fearful, New York. But faithful.
Why you trying to pump fear in the people? Why you trying to pump fear in the people?
Knowing that I, as the Attorney General, along with my entire team.
What team?
We are guardians of the law.
You better.
And we are prepared, my friends.
Yeah.
To fight back.
Yeah. One day. Yeah. One day.
So that's Attorney General
you prepared to fight back one day. One day. Not today, bitch.
Saying that they are prepared for a Trump
presidency. We coming for y'all.
Let's bring in our Fox News legal editor.
We coming for y'all.
I'm still
trying
to
get a
detail of that. Yeah, she's saying, well, we could be facing something. We don't know what it is.
You know.
But whatever it is, We'll be ready.
Yeah,
It's called
that
revenge,
is maybe the most
motherfucker.
distasteful
We coming
speech
for
I've
you.
ever seen a government official give
Goddamn
after someone
right.
won the American presidency, and I think it reflects exactly how Letitia James has been this entire time. She has done everything in her power to destroy Donald Trump. She failed. You know how we know she failed? Because Donald Trump won
get
decisively
fired.
last night. This
She gonna
lawfare
get
campaign
fired.
that we have seen waged against Trump
She's
by
fired.
attorneys general, by federal and state prosecutors, and them
Say,
doing so by twisting
what'd you
the
say
law
about
in
me?
ways they had never done
Oh my
before. And we know
God.
this, right? This is not just a right-wing talking point. They used the law against Donald Trump in ways they've never used against anyone else in their states, in this country. And the American people spoke loud and clear last night and said, we're done with this.
We done with
And
that
yet,
shit.
for the Attorney General of the state of New York to go on and give that speech just now, it's disgraceful.
Democrat.
And we're going to cut
Y'all know that fucked up, don't
at the
you?
top
No,
there.
you don't.
Meanwhile, I want to ask you about Special Counsel Jack Smith evaluating how to wind down 2 federal cases against President-elect Donald Trump, and where you see this going next.
President-elect.
And they're winding it down because it's a DOJ policy that says
President-elect.
you can't indict a sitting president. meaning
President-elect,
you can't pursue
like
prosecuting a
E40
president.
say.
And then you have the
President-elect.
state cases. Now, that theory, that DOJ
I'm like Donald
policy
Trump,
has actually never been tested in
nigga.
the states before. But in the spirit of it, you would hope and you would
How
think
y'all
that
doing?
states would do the same. We're
Thank you.
still watching the Mershon case, the Judge Mershon case, and that's the Stormy
Hey,
Daniels. The business
I need
records
some
case. There's a
supporters
hearing
to
on that
support me.
on Tuesday, where Judge Mershon's next Tuesday, he's going to decide whether or not immunity applies to Donald Trump in that case per the Supreme Court decision. And then, of course, there's still the sentencing date on the books, the week of Thanksgiving.
So your former boss, Bill Barr, penned an op-ed in which he said, for the good of the country, he urges not just the federal prosecutors, but the state prosecutors to drop all of the cases against President.
I got these.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
I only got
It's
2
part of this
left.
lawfare campaign that
If
we've been
anybody
watching for years, for 8 years,
would
now,
like
for
to
8
buy
years, this is what's been happening.
my
And
last
the former Attorney
famous
General and I were
2
discussing this over the phone throughout the morning.
rolls of
And-
Biden wipe, you
and
can
look,
wipe your
I think
ass
what's
with
gonna happen next
Biden
week,
toilet
for
paper.
instance, in this hearing on the business records case,
I need
is
some
even if
donations,
Judge
and I'm
Mershon
willing.
rejects
I'm
the
willing
immunity
to be
argument,
able.
and I
I'm
would
willing
argue that politically speaking,
to
it's
any one of my
actually a way for him
sponsors that want to
get
help
what
me.
he wants. If he could get
I got
out,
some
he can get
Biden
out.
toilet
But if
paper
he
I
doesn't,
wanna-
What's going to happen is Trump's lawyers are going to appeal that in the hopes
If
of
anybody
delaying
want to
the
help me,
sentencing. But I would
I
just say
want
this.
I
It would
want
be
you to
wrong
give me,
in
if you
spirit,
can
I
give me
think,
a
of fairness
nice
and justice,
contribution
we should
donation,
keep that over Donald
so I
Trump's
can.
head while he's in office. So they may say, oh look, here's the sentencing. We're just
I
not
only
gonna
got 2
execute
left, so
on
this
it
gonna go to
for,
the 2
the next 4 years.
the
And
2 highest
if they were to do
bidders
that,
who
though, I would just,
would wanna
they should
have
really
this
think
for a
long and hard
souvenir.
about that, because again, the reason
But these are
Donald Trump
collector's
slipped
items.
is
Or
because
you can
of
just
these
wipe your
kinds of
ass
legal
with 'em.
actions that have been taken against him
You
in
might
the past.
want to just wipe your ass with them.
The former Attorney General Bill Barr makes the case that these need to go away now because the American people elected.
I only
this
got
president, knowing these
400
allegations against
sheets.
them. He said American people have rendered their verdict
I'm
on Trump and
I'm
decisively told him
asking
to leave the country
a
for the next 4
minimum.
years. They did that with full knowledge of the
A
claims
$25
against them by prosecutors
donation.
around the country. And I think A.G. Garland
And I
and
will
state
send you a
prosecutors
sheet
respect the people's decision and
in the
dismiss
mail
cases against President
with my
Trump right now,
signature
which
on
makes
it.
the moment that we all just lived through even more remarkable.
And I'ma forge Donald
James,
Trump's
this is
signature
a few more
on it.
seconds of what she said. We missed.
I
it
ain't
at the very
forging.
top.
I'm just gonna put his signature. I know how to write like Donald Trump, so I'm
Did not
put Donald
expect
Trump's
this
signature on there.
result.
And
But we are prepared to
and this will
respond
be an
to this
item that you'll be able to put in a piece of
My office has been
surround,
preparing for
on a
several
piece of,
months.
you can what they call it, you can
Because we've
laminate
been
it,
here before.
put it in a folder, a binder,
We
and
faced
save
this
it.
challenge before.
20, 30 years down the line, your kids can sell that piece of wipe your ass toilet paper by
And we are prepared
for
to fight
hundreds
back
of thousands.
once again.
I'm telling you.
Because as the Attorney General of this great state, it is my job to protect and defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law.
Tell me what
And
you
I
doing.
will not shrink from that responsibility.
Don't it sound like she's trying to protect herself? She's trying to do what Cassidy did to Diddy. She's trying to go public so everybody can hear. Yeah, if anything happened, if they try to retaliate in any kind of way, Donald Trump, he did it. Like, we don't want to hear that shit. You almost got that man thrown in prison, lady. That man you convicted him of a crime that was never even heard of before. Y'all need to stop this shit. You go to jail. You need to go to jail.
You know, I think when she said to use the rule of law, she misspoke. She meant to say when I abused the law.
Yeah, she abused the law.
And the thing is, and you know who else thinks that, by the way, or seems to think that she abused the law against Donald Trump? The appellate court here in the state of New York. I watched those oral arguments, and they were all incredibly skeptical of this civil fraud case that she brought against Trump. You remember this one where they valued Mar-a-Lago between $18 and $20 million and then brought this $500 million judgment against him and used the statute against Donald Trump in a way that had never been used against anyone in the state of New York. I think he's actually going to win that case, and I think that court has been holding that decision for after the election. So we got to wait and see on that one.
You know what she said right there at the top? We did not expect this result. So what did they expect?
Well, that's the arrogance.
Every time that they threw the book at Trump, it made him stronger. And it just galvanized his supporters to say, this is unfair, what they're doing. And yet they seem to be still, you know, singing out of the same hymnal.
Yep.
They're not, there's no self-reflection going on here. The Democrats are not sitting back and saying, wow, we really screwed this up. Holy mackerel.
They are.
The whole thing away.
Yeah, they
what
are.
did we do wrong?
That's what they're doing right now. Because they know they fucked up.
It's like a doctor who goes in
You know
to
you
take out
fucked
your
up, don't you?
appendix, and instead of taking out your
fucked up.
appendix, cuts off your big toe and goes, oh, I gotta go back and
You
try
done
it
fucked
again.
up.
Do the same thing. You know, hopefully I'll find an appendix in there somewhere. I mean, they're not getting it.
It's utter arrogance, right? And arrogance blinds people.
Yeah, they're arrogant right
You know,
now.
Pride goes before a fall, right? And I think that perhaps she doesn't even see it, which is remarkable to the rest of us. But again, it's because of people like Attorney General Letitia James and the action she's taken that Donald Trump won in the way that he did last night.
Wow.
Einstein had something to say about that process. So,
Oh, yeah.
Carrie,
We
thank
know
you.
already.
thanks, Karen.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Or
Yeah. See, it's going down right now. See, damn, I'm the hottest thing on YouTube. Shit. Okay.
Laying the groundwork for a bigger and bolder second-term agenda. And
See, this right here, I found out this is Democrat propaganda too. How y'all doing this morning? Push that like button if you trying to be a successful entrepreneur, business person. If you like me. Yeah, say what? Yeah, this is where we at. We in an American barbershop. It is going down right now. We are watching. Cheers.
laying the groundwork for a bigger and bolder second-term agenda and assembling the cabinet to help get it done after Vice President Harris finally addresses the country to concede the election.
Oh, she conceded.
I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I
When?
do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Oh!
Harris says the
Oh!
ideological fight against Trump will go on. Some on the left are calling for a reset, saying it's time for Democrats to stop the, quote, ivory tower nonsense and
Yep.
start listening to the American people.
Yep.
You're watching Fox
But it's
and
too
Friends
late.
First on this Thursday morning.
They ain't
I'm
fucking with you no
And I
more.
am Todd Pyro. Let's get right to Brooke Singman here live with brand new details on the president-elect's next steps. Brooke.
Good morning,
Going
guys.
down.
President-elect Donald Trump is already in the process of meeting with his transition team and strategizing about how he will fill his next administration.
Yep.
So here's a look at some of the names being floated for top cabinet positions. Ben Carson could be back for another term as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Betsy DeVos could also be a repeat for Education Secretary. And Mike Pompeo could come back as Defense Secretary. Some of Trump's former GOP primary opponents who have since turned into allies are also in the mix here, including North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, who has been mentioned as a potential pick for Interior or Energy Secretary. Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who could be in the running for Secretary of State, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Agriculture or Secretary of Health and Human Services. Rubio and Kennedy are already weighing in on their potential future plans. Listen.
I'm in the Senate. I have an opportunity to serve there, and he's going to need people in the Senate to help carry that agenda. Because maybe that's the best place for me to serve. Maybe there's some other capacity. I really don't know because we just came from that victory.
In some categories of workers, there are entire departments, like the nutrition departments at FDA, that have to go. that are not doing their job. To eliminate the agencies, as long as it requires congressional approval, I wouldn't be doing that. But I can get the corruption out of the agencies.
Senate Republicans are planning to work with the Trump team to begin cabinet nominee confirmation hearings before the inauguration on January 20th, 2025. Guys.
All right, Brooke Singman live for us. Brooke, thank you so much. Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders is slamming Democrats after Trump's victory, saying, quote, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them." Todd and I were just in Pennsylvania and North Carolina talking to voters from all battlegrounds about why they rejected the Democrat agenda, and here is what they told us.
It's full of shit.
I'm not even going to beat around the bush. It was terrible. It was bad. Two companies that I work for, great companies, pretty much went out of business. And due to the Biden administration, cut the export of natural gas overseas. That really put a damper in everything.
The economy was number one, because I see so many friends.
They cut off all them goddamn drilling.
It wasn't about so much
They fucked up.
party affiliation.
They really fucked up.
About this country. And I'm watching it being torn apart, and people.
Have you ever had steak
victimized
fries
by
for
bullies and
breakfast?
thugs.
Well, really for
And,
dinner,
no respect
but
for law enforcement.
since it's early in the morning, I'm calling it breakfast.
And some of these people, it's all about them and not about the people they represent.
Yeah, I heard it, Todd, over and over again that people just want to return to normalcy, and for them it's all about policy. It's about getting prices down to the economy, acknowledging that borders are important to a nation.
Yeah.
Also, you heard it in that piece, a love of country, the ability to defend ourselves and also stand up to our allies.
For me, the number one takeaway was just a sense of relief. You saw that gentleman that I spoke to. He's now going to be able to make a living in fracking over the next 4 years and potentially beyond because of Trump's win. And he said, the last 4 years, he could not make a living consistently and beyond if Kamala Harris won. He was not confident he was going to have a job.
And that was
so
true.
it was that sense of relief that people felt.
He had to work temporary
There was
job.
definitely a sense among the younger people in the room, especially the younger men, that we went from brat to frat. And I think that's a takeaway. It's incumbent now upon the Republicans to expand the tent even further. I think they can if they play the game right.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to the economy, a lot of people are stressed out. Now feel like there is hope for the future.
President Biden, though, planning to address the nation this morning after speaking with Trump and offering a meeting at the White House. Vice President Harris also speaking with Trump before giving her concession speech hours after the race was called.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign. The fight for freedom, for opportunity, for fairness.
For the dreams of the American people.
That
For the dreams and the ambitions of the American people.
Robert Charles is a former Assistant Secretary
That's why I
of
know.
State for President George W. Bush and a former Naval Intel officer, and joins us now. Robert, good morning. It's great to see you as always. So a lot of changes, of course, over the past 24 hours.
I just like this.
The fight that fueled
this campaign.
The fight for freedom.
For freedom.
For opportunity.
I fought it.
For fairness.
For fairness.
And the
for the
dignity
dreams
of all
and the dignities of all the American people.
Is a fight I will
See,
never give
that's
up.
a fight I keep giving.
Robert Charles is a former Assistant Secretary of State for
I
President
did it
George
for the
W.
dreams
Bush
and the
former
ambitions
Naval
for
Intel
the
officer, and
American
joins us
people.
now.
That's all
Robert,
you
good
was
morning.
doing it
It's great
for.
to see you
That's
as
why your
always.
ass
So a lot
didn't
of
win.
changes, of course,
That's
over the
exactly
past
why your
24
ass didn't
hours.
win. So
Donald
did.
Trump is now working
How y'all
on
doing?
his
Push that like button.
cabinet with the transition
Hi.
team. You had Kamala Harris making that concession speech yesterday, and President
Let me
Biden
show
is
you
expected
something.
to speak today. So
This-
where do you think
see-
things stand right now, and what does the future
See,
hold?
let me show you something. See, my metabolism ain't built like that.
America, to borrow a
I
phrase
can
from
eat
Ronald
a lot of
Reagan.
starch.
I really think that what we've
And guess
watched
what?
here is a triumph of
I'ma
common
shit it
sense
right
and
back out in the
accountability
morning. See,
over extreme
I
rhetoric
ain't
and
built like
honestly
that.
extreme
See, this is what a
behavior.
49-year-old
And I
body
think what
look
we're
like.
looking at here is an opportunity.
And you can
I
eat
heard the word
anything.
reset
Like,
recently,
yeah,
and I
see,
think
I
that's
can eat
exactly
anything.
right.
Don't worry about
Opportunity
me.
for
Don't
the
you
average
worry about me.
American
I
to begin
swear.
to play a role again.
I can eat
And for
anything.
the government to be limited. And
That's a
really,
lot
that's
of
what the
starch.
Constitution is all about. I listened to Kamala Harris's
said
speech, and I
prostitution?
thought, gosh, you know,
They
if you
had
could only
prostitutes
put
in there?
meaning and reality behind those
Oh
words,
my God,
freedom and free markets mean that people have individual liberties. Those
Oh,
are
now
honored and respected,
prostitutes got
and
the
markets
liberty
are
to
allowed
do
be
what they
largely
want
free
to
and
do.
modestly regulated. And frankly, that's all Americans
Where the prostitutes was. He said something about some prostitutes. Am I the only one? Man, we gotta rewind this back. He said something about some prostitutes, didn't he?
To be limited. And really that's what our Constitution is all about. I listened to Kamala Harris's speech and I thought, gosh, you know, if you could only have put meaning and reality behind those words. Freedom and free markets mean that people have individual liberties, those are honored and respected, and the markets are allowed to be largely free and modestly regulated. And frankly, that's all Americans want. They want to return to the things that they love and frankly that they cherish.
But Bobby, we cannot ignore the fact that the Democrat blame game has begun. It is in
they done
swing.
They done started blaming everything and everybody for no reason.
There's a lot more to lose than there is to gain politically from pandering to a far left, to your point, Bobby, that is more representative of Twitter, Twitch, TikTok than it is of the real world. The working class is not buying the ivory towered nonsense that the far left is selling. Time magazine highlighting this, there's plenty of blame to go around, but most of the finger pointing hasn't been aimed at Harris, who ran a truncated campaign that was generally well regarded before the election day drubbing. Instead, some of the sharpest criticism focused on President Joe Biden for moving forward with a catastrophic re-election bid that set the stage for an across-the-board failure. I know we only have a 1-hour show, but where did the Democrats go wrong, Bobby? Was it the far left push? Was it Joe Biden staying in the race too long? Some combination? What say you?
Well, I think honestly, Todd, you know, they were averting reality from beginning to end. Their policies, as you pointed out a moment ago, are the real failure, right? They didn't support law enforcement, which means they didn't support public safety. They opened the border, which means they put every single state and every citizen in every state at risk. I don't know what the long-range strategy was there, and we can guess at it, but it was a failure. They literally shut down big chunks of our energy sector, which drove inflation through the roof. I'm up here in Maine. You know, my fuel bill, my heating bill the year after they came to power doubled. So the reality is people just are not going to let arrogance in power dominate their world. And they love their freedoms. They're simple freedoms. They love the idea that America is a place where the American dream can thrive. And, you know, I just wrote a book called Cherish America, and it's all about American heroes who make the American dream real. And the bottom line is there is an opportunity for people now of every demographic, of every age, of every race, to do the things that they think God gave them the power to do, and not to be told by the government that they have to do something else or that they can't do what they were born to do.
Yeah, well, the concession speech has been made. President Biden has invited Trump to the White House. Very interesting to be a fly on the wall in that room. Maybe there will be cameras when they meet. We're hoping for that. And we officially have a president-elect, Donald Trump. Robert, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great morning.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to have you on. House Republicans hoping to keep the majority as they flip key seats, including in Pennsylvania. Ryan McKenzie won one of those races and will tell us what he hopes to accomplish on Capitol Hill.
Looking forward to that, and Trump's legal cases are expected to wind down, but not all Democrats are ready to give up the fight just yet. We're going to take a closer look at where Trump's courtroom battles stand now.
Reportedly ruled that the plea agreements between the U.S. government and the accused masterminds of the 9/11 attacks, plus 2 suspected accomplices, are, quote, valid and enforceable. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin revoked the deal back in August, but the judge says he acted too late. The 3 men could now be able to avoid the death penalty by entering guilty pleas in exchange for life in prison. They must plead guilty to all charges, including the murders of nearly 3,000 people who died on 9/11. The Department of Justice is looking to wind down all of its criminal cases against President-elect Trump before his inauguration in January. Chanley Painter is here with all the details here. Hi, Chanley.
Hey, Carly. So now that he is president-elect, Donald Trump's legal team will...
Let me ask y'all something. Now, what y'all think about them people that's locked up, talking about they got a plea bargain to sign for life in prison without parole? Is that a plea deal? I know they got to blame somebody, right? Those people been locked up since 9/11. And they still waiting trial. I don't know what kind of fucking justice system we got. But they hung them niggas for 30 years in in limbo before they went to court. You know what I'm talking about? 25, 9/11. You know what that like 30 years ago? I don't know. I wasn't in society when 9/11 happened. I was in prison. But I remember the whole world went dark. And all the screens on every prison, that's all they kept showing. The planes kept flying back into the buildings. Boom, kaboom. They just kept showing that shit over and over. I guess they wanted to lock that in the American people's minds. This is what they did to us. We gotta go to war. I promise you, I seen those planes fly into the building on that day at least 85 times. I was waiting on something else to come onto the TV, but it was kind of interesting to watch airplanes fly into a building. So they had the whole world captivated. If you wasn't there to consciously experience it, then you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I was right there with a clear conscience, watching it all unfold. In prison, on a little bitty ass TV, but I was watching it. Yeah. That was when I was doing my life sentence in prison. I ain't had no way out. I wasn't even thinking about getting out. Nine 11. I mean, it was the 9th of November. The 9th of November, 9/11, 9th of November. Yeah, I remember when that day happened. All right.
heavy snowfall need to take extra precautions to keep their meters and piping safe. While the
How
best
y'all
option
doing
is
this
to protect
morning?
your meter with a snow shelter,
Thank y'all.
there are other ways to keep a meter safe until a shelter is
You
installed.
said the 9th of
When clearing your
November.
meter, use a broom.
It's
not a
9/11.
shovel. Never bury your meter and always maintain clear
Not
cover.
11/11.
Be aware of overhead snow and ice. Find
Said
more
9/11.
winter safety
9.
tips at
That's the 9th
swgas.com.
of November, nigga.
All right, time now for Built for Success. Presented by Ram Trucks, we have a massive matchup for the Big Ten, noon Eastern, Happy Valley, Beaver Stadium. It is Will the Thrill Howard and number 4 Ohio State rolling in to take on Tyler Warren, and number 3 and undefeated Penn State. Buckeyes looking for a signature win.
Perhaps I can help you, Chuck. I think the election was a victory for good government. It might also be called a victory for propaganda. But that would have been equally true if our opponent had
Y'all
won.
need to watch this.
So
This
how
is
can you
real
study
good.
it? Well, you can begin by investigating the techniques of propaganda. Here, I've listed some of the main ones. Glittering generalities? What is a glittering generality? That headline you were quoting, a victory for good government. Good government is a phrase we use many times during the campaign. We said the mayor stood for good government and promised good government. But it's true, isn't it? What's true? What does good government mean? Is the mayor's idea of good government the same as yours? I see. It's a glittering generality. One of the best. There's another. Yes. And why do you suppose our opponents chose that phrase? I guess because everybody likes a real American. Right. And they wanted to transfer that liking for a real American to Mr. Butler. A day or so after that poster came out, I said in one of my campaign speeches, our opponent advertises himself as a real American. I say he is unreal, unrealistic. He is a visionary, a theorist, a dreamer. He is so thirsty for public office that like a weary traveler in the desert, he sees a mirage, and he is trying to sell it to you as real. There. Now what would you call that? That's name-calling, visionary, theorist, dreamer. That's right. And those are very polite names. For my collection of propaganda materials, I've made a special record of part of one of Mr. Butler's radio speeches. Mayor Cooper asks that he be judged by his performance in office. Very well. Let's ask him who was mayor when the municipal waterworks fell into such a state of disrepair that the whole town was without water for 2 days. Let's ask him. But no, let's not. It might embarrass him. That's what we call card stacking. Cooper was mayor when the pumping station broke down, but it was the men in office before him who allowed it to get into such a rundown condition, and it finally gave way before he could get anything done. And card stacking is choosing some facts and leaving out others, and arranging them to suit your purpose. Now, did you see our little campaign movie? Yes, a couple of times. Well, let's look at it again.
Land's sakes, a body hardly has time enough. The house to clean, the washing to do, and the men folks to feed. They like their chocolate cakes, too. But I do want to take time to tell you that I've known Dick Cooper ever since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. He comes of a good, respectable family, just as honest as the day is long. He knows our town. He's one of us. That's why I'm going to vote for Mayor Cooper. And all my friends are going to vote for him, too.
Recognize the technique? That must be what you call plain folks. That's right. You'll find many versions of the appeal based on the common man, the man on the street, Lord Cabin to President. Now let's look at the rest of the movie. Yes, Mrs. Hamline is voting for Mayor Cooper. Her friends are voting for Mayor Cooper. Your friends are voting for Mayor Cooper. The people know what they want, and what they want is Mayor Cooper. Don't you be left behind. Get on board the Victory Special. Vote for Mayor Cooper and ride with him to victory. That ending's easy to spot. It's the bandwagon. Yeah, propaganda we've been talking about is easy to detect. But a great deal of propaganda is much more hidden, much harder to detect. That's what's bothering me. Even in a small local election, there's so much propaganda. That poster, a real American, he uses a transferred device. Does that mean it isn't true? Not necessarily. Evaluating propaganda isn't that simple. Recognizing the technique is one step. Another step is to know the purpose. What is the purpose here? That's easy. To get people to vote for Butler. Yes, to persuade people that Butler is the better man, to move them to vote for him. In short, to sell Mr. Butler to the voters. You'll find that the purpose of most propaganda is to persuade people to believe something, to do something, or to buy something. All right, but it still doesn't answer my question. No. Your next step, and it's a big one, is to get the facts. Well, is he a real American? Howard Butler was born in this country. He obeys its laws. He's a good citizen. Yes, he is a real American. The same can be said for Richard Cooper. So ask yourself whether the facts support the purpose. Do they support the transfer of feeling from real American to Mr. Butler over Mr. Cooper? No, I guess not. Well, that's your fourth step. Weigh the facts against the purpose and the technique. I think I understand. To know whether propaganda is good or not, whether it's true or not, I should know the purpose, recognize the technique, get the facts, and judge the purpose and technique by the facts. But when you want the facts about live political battle, don't come to a campaign manager. I might do it at that, but I will also go and see your opposition. Well, that's all right. Whenever you're tracking down propaganda.
Okay, see, that's propaganda. And we know how propaganda works. We've been watching it for years and years unfold right before our eyes. Political propaganda, advertisement propaganda, everything. Propaganda. I do not read propaganda. I do not feed my brain cells propaganda. I like to feed my brain cells informative information. Something that's going to open my mind up and make me use it, larger. You know what I mean? How y'all doing? Push that like button. Thank y'all for, you said genius. Actually, thank you very, very much. All right, man. There's a lot of things going in the world. But right here, I want to show y'all the leftist breakdown. Like, they melting down right now.
Has been officially released today. No documents or procedures are required.
Boy, they've been advertising this plastic square gun.
Hello and welcome to Power Hour.
Power Hour.
Donald Trump has been elected president of the United States again, and it was a landslide. Not only did he clean up the swing states, he won the popular vote as well. Here is the 45th and soon-to-be 47th president declaring victory in Palm Beach.
Many people have told me that God spared my life.
Spared his life. Spared his life for a reason. To save this country.
And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to
restore it. Restore it back to greatness. Make it great again. Make America great.
Right now, there are celebrations.
Push that like button. Show me some love.
World, including right here down under
I meant the government,
Australia.
LOL.
But
you might be, bro.
What it was like at Trump's campaign headquarters in Florida when the news was announced.
YMCA. I don't know what that means. What do that mean? Rock on myself.
No matter where you
YMCA.
loud and proud to celebrate his victory.
Yeah, he was loud and proud.
That I spoke with in Sydney.
Oh man, this is so exciting seeing Trump.
I'm so excited seeing Trump.
Getting back in.
Get back in here. We are in the house. We drinking. We getting drunk. It's Trump time now. Oh, we worked hard. It's time to celebrate. Yeah. All the polls was wrong. I knew they was wrong. No, they wasn't. the polls was right because the odds was with Trump. Didn't I tell y'all, if you put your money on the Trump, you wasn't gonna win shit? You could have won $700,000 for a $100 bet for Kamala.
People are fed up with being gaslit by politicians. From lying about Joe Biden's cognitive decline, by transforming the image of Kamala Harris, she somehow went from being an incredibly unpopular vice president to a superstar overnight.
Yeah.
And the mainstream media's coverage of this election campaign has
Was
been
straight trash.
So biased. From painting Kamala Harris as some kind of hero to jumping on the chance to compare Donald Trump to Hitler every chance that they could. Well, look how well that turned out.
Not too
now,
good
this
for
hasn't
him.
taken long at all. Media outlets like MSNBC and CNN
That did not turn out too good for him, did it?
over this election result. You just think about just the last 2 weeks and the things that
Enjoy your victory, player. Well, you go on and tuck your tail and shut up and don't say nothing for a couple of weeks. Don't even mention. Just let us celebrate Donald Trump win. Come on. Yeah, we're going to celebrate Donald Trump win.
You name it. If all of that gets you
Y'all mad? Them Democrats, the lefties is mad.
what does it tell
They
you?
going
I mean,
crazy.
we need to really take a step back
Look.
and think about what does that say about us.
What say about what? You? Get your ugly ass off TV. That's what they saying about your ugly ass. The hell you even doing on her ugly ass?
Going to be okay.
Boy, they need to replace me with her.
Very group picture.
It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's
Over there on TV. I need to be on TV. She need to be on my YouTube channel. How you doing? Your ugly ass off the TV. Yeah, you know what I mean? You ever seen an ugly motherfucker on TV? Be like, how the hell you get there?
Whatever Donald Trump decides to do. I don't even know if those people didn't vote. A large portion of those people aren't part of the people that elected Donald Trump. Right? I think that's a good part of the electorate. And the black women, the party, the Democratic Party,
The black women.
let those black women down.
The Democratic Party let them black women down.
Watching those outlets, it's like watching a funeral. Those reactions do not even compare to some of the lefties who are openly sharing their distress on social media.
Why? No. Why? This shit went viral. Why? 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 You hate me that bad? Why? Oh! You made my teeth fall out. Donald Trump won! No! These motherfuckers done went crazy. And they go crazy. They done went crazy. They done lost their damn mind, ain't it?
DC
Motherfucker.
Emily, great to speak with you. What an incredible result for Donald Trump. What do you put it down to?
Yeah, well, you know, he ended up actually just running up the scoreboard with demographics. People expected him to do
Donald
a
Trump
little bit
went.
better with.
Donald Trump won more than Barack Obama did by a landslide.
Hispanic man. He was able to just run up the scoreboard. So in the case for some of the suburban areas, he did better in some of the suburban areas he wasn't expected to. He did slightly worse in some of the suburban areas, but it didn't matter because he was
and Obama was running the show. Show was from outside.
Rural voters.
From the outside doing it in. Obama was running the whole show.
Suburban women turning out.
Man, Biden wasn't president. Obama was president. Y'all ain't even know it.
Ultimately, how their math fell apart.
And it shows that the polls are wrong once again. They really underestimated the amount of Trump supporters that are out there.
It's so crazy because it was one of those situations where, like Nate Silver was saying, we know that there is going to be a polling error. We just don't know which direction it's going to be in, which makes you wonder, like, how helpful are these polls to begin with? And
yeah, ignore them. That's better advice.
Yeah, seriously. And what happened is that it was a polling error entirely in Trump's direction. So some pundits were saying this polling error is going to go totally for Kamala. She is going to be the one who sweeps all the swing states. And what happened is that it was a polling error on behalf of Trump. he swept almost all of the battleground states and to margins that people didn't even expect, and brought Senate candidates with him, did better in blue states like New Jersey and Maryland. I mean, it was just a rout.
Watching some of the media coverage yesterday, I think this is one of my favorites from CNN, and their journalists just in shock over how badly the Democrats were performing.
You asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we can show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming 2020.
Holy smokes.
Here you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally none?
Emily, why were they so shocked?
Yeah, you know, because there was this narrative, and I heard Democratic consultants say this, that they were seeing women in focus groups show up who were going to vote against their husbands. And they ran an ad. They put about
against their husbands.
A ton of money, but one
and they went and voted for Kamala. You should have been following your husband, following the lead, and voted for Trump.
The right to choose in the ballot box, and implying, you know, they don't have to vote for Trump if their husbands are voting for Trump. They can vote for Kamala Harris. That is what Democrats expected to see in suburban Atlanta and suburban Milwaukee, places like that, suburban Philadelphia. And we did see in suburban Milwaukee and suburban Atlanta, there were some counties that went a little bit more Dem than they had before, but only like +1 or +2 points, not +5, not +7, in ways that Democrats were counting on to give Kamala a victory. That's the only way they could have done it.
We have heard from Vice President Kamala Harris. Here's the very start of her concession speech.
Good
afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What's your cameling for? What's your cameling for? Ain't no need for cameling.
To give her credit, that would be such an incredibly
y'all
hard
rooting
thing to
for?
do. But
She lost.
watching it just feels like she didn't quite want to say the words out loud, and it comes after refusing to speak last night.
What you rooting for?
She did, and
She lost.
Had that set of remarks scheduled for 2 hours later. That you speak as early as you possibly can in order to go about the peaceful transition of power, which was probably her biggest applause line of that entire speech. She said, when we lose, we do it peacefully, and that was obviously a dig at Donald Trump in 2020. So it was interesting, as Kamala Harris wanted to sort of claim the high ground, she waited pretty late into the day to go ahead and make her remarks, and a lot of people on her side, including pundits on places like CNN and MSNBC, are now pointing fingers at their fellow countrymen and really sort of
Democrats messed up. They lost the Senate, they lost the president, the White House. It looked like they about to lose the goddamn house too, but oh my God, if they lose all three, boy, Trump gonna have a ball with their ass.
Let's look at the market reaction.
Sodom and Gomorrah did not win this one. Nope, we are not going to Sodom and Gomorrah. We are not going to hell. Nope. We believe in God we trust again. It's America again. In God we trust.
I mean, I think it says a lot, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna see y'all, man. God bless y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'll be back later.
The Winklevoss twins had given, I think they each gave $1 million to the Trump campaign. People were very favorable towards crypto. So, of course, I mean, it makes sense now that crypto would soar. And when it comes to the market, Donald Trump is promising to make his